Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole Huesman and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we are in a bit of a different filming location because we're actually in my office because I'm starting a new series on creating your own small business and being a small business owner because I recently opened two of my own companies. They are officially an LLC in the state of North Carolina, and a lot of people have been asking me how I did it, what process I went through, and so I'm really excited to share with y'all what it is to be a small business owner, especially in crazy times like this. So today I'm going to be walking you guys through how to actually start a business and taking it from an idea in your notes app or written down on a napkin to being an official company, an officially recognized LLC, as well as the next steps to take after you become officially registered. So if you want to see that, keep watching. Before we begin, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. It lets me know that you guys like content like this, and it lets me know you guys want to see more content related to the business side of my life. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a new video, which is Mondays and Thursdays. So without further ado, let's get started. I actually have two of my own businesses. They are both LLCs in the state of North Carolina, which means they are limited liability companies, which is a type of classification for a business that I think is the easiest to get. You're not a corporation, so you don't have a board of directors or have to worry about satisfying stakeholders, but you do have protection from liability against yourself and your personal assets. It also gives you the ability to hire employees, file taxes. So I would say it's the first official step in becoming a business if you want to be legally recognized and you want to make money in a way that is legal, as well as protect your own assets. So I have two. The first one is Nicole LLC, and this actually is my entire social media brand slash company. This falls into the e-commerce space and allows me to use any money that I make off of YouTube to come into my company, and then any business expenses I have are able to operate under this umbrella. My second company is called Imperio LLC, and the motto is just, we build cool stuff. It is an app development company that builds iOS app to rapidly prototype new ideas, applications, and just really cool things. Our motto is just, we build cool stuff. So I have two separate ones, and the reason I separated these is because one is very much about my social media and e-commerce, while the other one is very clearly a software development company. And because of the needs, the applications, and the products of both companies are very different, I did decide to split them into two different companies. I think there is a world in which I could have just had one, but because of the nature of both of them, I just found that it would be easier to divide them into two. So the first thing you're going to want to do is actually figure out what your business is about. You need to figure out the kind of industry your business is going to be in, what kind of operations your business will do. This is a great time to also figure out how your business is going to actually make money, so figuring out your business model. There's so many resources on YouTube of how to do these things, so I won't go too far into depth on them, but it's really important to be prepared with what your business actually does before you go into the next steps, because a lot of people are going to be asking you, not just friends and family, but whatever company you go through to incorporate or to become an LLC is also going to ask you the nature of your business. So it's really important to nail this down. I would also take this time to create a mission statement, a set of ethics or morals for your company, a directive, kind of just the things that you want your company to be based on, so that every single step of the way after this, you have something to look back on. So on one space, we have Nicole LLC, which operates in the social media world. I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted Nicole LLC to be. It was a little fuzzy just because I want to make sure I'm leaving room for expansion and not just narrowing in on like money I make off of my YouTube or Instagram. I wanted to be able to kind of encompass my entire brand identity into one company. And so that's Nicole, and I do plan to expand it into selling other materials or even starting my own clothing line. All of that can fill under Nicole LLC because the brand identity is really strongly associated with my personal identity. So it's really easy to justify what goes into that one. My other business is called Imperio LLC, and this is also pretty easy to define. It is a software development company. Our motto is just, we build cool stuff, and it builds iOS applications. It uses rapid prototyping development, and I knew that any money I made off of writing my own apps would go into this. And so these businesses, they're pretty clearly separated, and I was able to very, very clearly ideate what Imperio Apps would be. I want it to be kind of like a bootstrap company, which means we don't raise money from investors. We kind of just pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. That creates cool new apps and releases them on the App Store. So once I figured out what I wanted these businesses to be about, I kind of figured out what the brand identity for each one was. I moved on to the next step, which was actually naming the companies. So for Nicole LLC, I was shocked that Nicole was not taken. I don't know if it's done by your state. So I registered in the state of North Carolina, and I used LegalZoom, which was super easy process, but there's so many tools online to go in and just search to see if a company name was taken. So not only did I want to see if a company name was taken, I also wanted to see if that website address or something very similar existed, so that I was picking a company that I could also have the website for. So I have no idea how Nicole was not taken as a company name, but I did manage to get Nicole LLC in the state of North Carolina, and the corresponding website is NicoleHuesman.com. For the Imperio app side, I loved Imperio, or Imperium as a word. It's very close to the word empire. So I knew I wanted to name it Imperio. This kind of goes back to when I was working at NASA. I actually named a piece of software Imperio, and I just loved it. So I knew I wanted to be Imperio. Unfortunately, Imperio.com was taken, but ImperioApps.com was not taken. So I did apply to be Imperio LLC, and unfortunately the name was taken, or there was some sort of difficulty getting the name. So I did eventually go with Imperio Apps because I had already had that website set up, and I knew that that was kind of the direction I wanted the company to go in. I knew it's about apps, so I thought it was okay to add it to the company name. So once I figured out the two names of the companies, I was able to apply on LegalZoom.com. I got like the gold tier package, so it ended up being around like $800 for each LLC. I got the price level because I just really wanted it to exist quickly, and I'll go into why later in the video. But I really wanted it quickly, so I paid around $800, but I do think they have packages that are a little bit cheaper. But once you go through them, they make the process so easy. You input what your company name is, what your company does, you select some options about registered agents of who represents the company, and different like legal packages you can buy. And I bought basically everything because I'm not a lawyer. I do not want to hire a lawyer, but LegalZoom makes it really easy. And I should just mention, this video is not sponsored by LegalZoom. I actually reached out to see if they wanted to collaborate on a video together. We're still waiting to hear back, but I just genuinely loved using LegalZoom. I thought it made it so easy, and I really highly recommend their site. So filled out all the paperwork. I started first with Nicole, and then I worked on Imperio. And the process was honestly so easy. They ask you questions about yourself, about who's registering the business. And I filed as a LLC with a single proprietorship, which means I am the sole owner of the company. I do not split it with anyone else. So that also made it really easy. I didn't have to coordinate with anyone else, but they do have really good options if you want to incorporate into a C Corp or an S Corp. Don't know too much about that process, but I'm sure there's some great videos on YouTube. Or if you want to be a dual partnership LLC or a multi-partnership LLC, they make the process easy. So highly recommend that. I'm not a lawyer, and I was able to easily go through the process. So after I created my official LLC, I feel like that's it. Once you have your paperwork, that is it. You legally have a company, you have an LLC, you have a business entity. And I think that's so cool because it's just like, it seems like this crazy hard thing to do with this huge investment. And in reality, you can do it in under $1,000, which is still a lot of money. But in my mind growing up, I don't know why, I always thought businesses cost like tens of thousands of dollars to create, when in reality, to actually legally create the company, you only need about $1,000. So this was the cost to actually create the company. So after I created the company, one of the first things I wanted to do was get an EIN, which is an employer identification number, which I believe is used for taxes. But more importantly, I wanted to hire an actual employee. So I have my assistant, Erin, who is honest to goodness, such a wonderful human being. I'm gonna link her socials down below. If you guys can go drop her some love, I'm sure she would appreciate it. She is a godsend to me. I don't think Nicole LLC would run as smoothly as a company if it wasn't for her. So honestly, Erin, if you're watching this, I hope you know how thankful I am for you. I knew I wanted to hire Erin. I had interviewed a couple people, and I knew that Erin really fit what I was looking for in a company. And if you guys want me to go more into the process of hiring my first employee and onboarding, drop a comment down below or hit that thumbs up button so I know you like this kind of content, because I would definitely love making more content like this and talking more about my experience as a business owner. But I hired Erin on, and I knew I wanted to do it, again, officially, legally. So I hired her on, but I needed an EIN. So LegalZoom, again, made this really easy. When I applied for the business, there was an option to get a package that included the EIN. So I think I had to pay a little bit more for it, but you can also register, I believe, on your own. I just didn't want to have to worry about not being in compliance with something or doing something wrong or filling out a form wrong, because I wanted to hire her ASAP, which was also why I wanted the company to exist as soon as possible. Because like I said, I already had her interviewed, I already knew I wanted to hire her, and I wanted to hire her as soon as possible. So I actually got EINs for both Nicole and Imperio apps because I didn't know when I'd be hiring employees, and I just wanted them to have those things ready to go. So if I did decide to start onboarding employees or other developers for Imperio apps, that I easily had that information there. Okay, I feel like I need like a water break. Do you guys need a break? All right, take like a quick 5-second break, go to the bathroom, stretch your legs, go get some water. I feel like this is gonna be a rather long video. We'll see in editing how long it actually is. So after I applied for my LLC, it maybe took about 5 to 7 days for the application process to officially go through. Now with Nicole, this went through seamlessly. With Imperio apps, I originally submitted under just Imperio. I was told that that wasn't available, so we had to restart the process again with a new name, but it was relatively painless. And as far as like hiccups go, it maybe took like 5 minutes out of my day to figure out the new name, redo kind of the branding that I wanted, and make sure everything was ready to go. And then after that, LegalZoom actually sent me this really cool binder. I haven't gotten the one for Imperio yet because Nicole was filed first, but that's my official business name, and it feels all of my important information and legal documents for my business are in here. I think this is just such a cute touch. I'm not sure if it's just the package I got. I'm not sure if it comes with all of them, but it came with all of my paperwork, some official certificates. It even came with an embosser, which I thought was so cool. So again, not sponsored by LegalZoom. I just really love their service, and I'm excited to see my one for Imperio and get those documents signed and officially ready to go. Okay, so you officially have your business name. You've applied for your LLC, you've gotten your EIN and any other like forms and paperwork that you need. The next step is to figure out your banking. Personally, I use Bank of America because they contacted me. They had a really easy way to integrate with LegalZoom, so I felt like everything was just a little bit more seamless. And I opened up a business checking and savings account for both Nicole and Imperio, as well as depositing my initial investment into both of those bank accounts for me to set me up for about the first year. I wanted to have enough money to set me up if I made 0 profits for a year and still function for a year. I'm hoping obviously that I will turn a profit sooner than that, but I just wanted the backup to know that everything was initially invested and separated, because you don't want to pierce what's called the corporate veil, which is where you are using your business card for personal reasons or your personal card for business reasons, and it just kind of starts to make everything really confusing. So highly recommend getting your own bank account, separating it out, making sure the records are kept and they're kept separately from your personal things. So you can, if the IRS ever says, are you sure this was a business expense? You can clearly say, yes, everything on this card was a business expense. Here are all the records for it. So then the next step is of course tax accounting, because I don't want to mess with the IRS. I actually have this really deep-rooted fear that somehow I'm gonna commit tax fraud and not realize it and go to jail over something I just made a mistake on. Like, it's totally an irrational fear, but because of this, I've always used accountants and bookkeepers, and especially for my businesses, this was a no-brainer. So the company I'm using is actually called Mazuma. Again, not sponsored. They are tax accountants and bookkeepers who make sure that everything is balanced and ready to go. And they also prepare your tax information. They can do payroll. And so originally I was looking at QuickBooks, which is a software that does this, and it is a little bit cheaper, but QuickBooks doesn't give you tax information, and it really is just a software, whereas I would rather have a live person balancing my books, because then when it comes time for tax season, they're also the ones preparing my taxes, and they've done everything up until that point to prepare for my taxes. So I would really recommend, if you're gonna go the QuickBooks route, get QuickBooks. My mom uses it. She says it's amazing. Personally, again, just because of my fear of tax fraud, I wanted to get my own live bookkeeper and tax agent. So I use Mazuma. So those are the essential steps to actually legally creating your business entity. I would say the next steps would then be figuring out your brand identity, which I'm so excited to also be doing a video on later on my channel. So make sure you are subscribed with that bell icon turned on so that you don't miss my update in my next business series. Don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. It really helps me out as a small creator and lets me know that you like business content. And of course, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and best of luck with your own businesses. Why don't we use the comment section down below? If you recently started or are about to start your own small business, drop a comment down below talking about your business, and we can all create a really supportive and awesome community and environment for small business owners and really just support each other. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.